Hey guys, NASCAR Mobile for today, back again. We're back to another NASCAR video. In today's video, we are back with Cup Series, well, not Cup Series, not Xfinity Series, but Truck Series predictions for the Truck Series playoffs. That's right, they start this weekend at Indianapolis Raceway Park, or IRP, Lucas Oil Raceway, whatever you call it. Then they're headed off to Richmond, and then they're also headed off to Kansas. All three of those races in a 1 month span. I don't get that. And so in the round of eight's also 1 month, but for NASCAR and Xfinity, or no, Cup Series and Xfinity Series, literally 3 weeks. But trucks, no, full month. Heck, a little bit over a month. So I don't know what to say about the Truck Series, but in today's video, I will be talking about each of the 10 playoff drivers and how their season has been and what their odds are like going into the next round. And then finally, at the end, I'll be talking about who are the 2 drivers I believe that will be eliminated from the Truck Series playoffs. So without further ado, let's go ahead and dive on into this video. First up, we have Zane Smith, who's been on a tear so far this season. 3 wins, 9 top 5s, 13 top 10s. Those 3 wins were the season opener at Daytona. He also won at COTA, and he won at Kansas. He's been really consistent. I remember back in 2020, Zane Smith was also looking pretty good in the Truck Series season. Got that win at Dover and Michigan. Made it to the championship 4, but just was not enough to compete with his teammate Sheldon Creed. But last year, for GMS was not really good. It was really inconsistent compared to 2020. I mean, he did win at Martinsville that year and made it to the championship 4, but just how his season has gone, he wasn't really a competitor in that race. But I think he could be a competitor for the championship this year. I think he'll do really well at these next few tracks. I mean, I don't know how he did at Richmond last year, because that was last year. IRP, we haven't raced there in like a little over 10 years. And Kansas, that's something I could say because he literally won there. So I'm looking really forward to seeing how Zane Smith will do in the playoffs for Front Row Motorsports. Should be a fun one, because I remember the last time the 38 truck made the playoffs, the last 2 seasons with Todd Gilliland, it did not end so well. Next up, we have another Smith, Chandler Smith, who's gotten 2 wins so far this season, which were at Las Vegas and Pocono. Also following that up with 7 top 5s and 11 top 10s, a consistent season so far for him. The start of last year wasn't really all that well for him, but he started to pick up the pace and was able to get his first career win at Bristol. Also followed that up with the win at Phoenix, the last race of the season, and looked really consistent so far to start the season, like I said. So looking really good for Chandler Smith's odds, especially for KBM equipment. So I think he'll go pretty far in the playoffs. Will he win the championship? I don't know. It's up for grabs for, I believe, anyone who could just make it into the final race at Phoenix, because we haven't ran at Phoenix so far yet in the Truck Series, so it'll just have to wait. But I think he'll do really good. I don't know how he did at Richmond last year, because, well, really, I don't even know if he even did all that well, because like I said, he was kind of struggling at the beginning of the season last year. But I think the KBM trucks all finished 1, 2, 3. So yeah, he finished 3rd. Yeah. I can't believe I forgot that. Yeah. So I think he finished 3rd in that race, I'm pretty sure. Someone correct me if I'm wrong. IRP, like I said, with Zane Smith, I don't know how he'll do, but he did get a nice solid 4th place finish at Kansas. So looking pretty good so far in this first round for Chandler Smith. Next up, we have the reigning series champ, Ben Rhodes. And for Ben Rhodes, it hasn't really been all that good of a season, in my opinion, because if you're the champion, I expect you to do a little bit better, be a bit more consistent. He hasn't really been all that consistent this year. I mean, literally, he has one of the 3 worst average finishes so far this season, and that's a 12.9. That's basically 13. So I feel like Ben Rhodes could have done better, but he still has a win this season. He also has 5 top 5s, 9 top 10s. He got that win at Dirt Bristol. He had to hunt down Carson Hocevar and take that win away from him. So Ben Rhodes, I still think he can do pretty decent in the playoffs. I'm not really sure. IRP, like I said, not sure. I believe he finished a solid 7th place at Richmond last year. I kind of remember where some drivers finished, but not all of them. He finished 7th last year at Richmond, and he also finished 10th at Kansas earlier this year. So looking pretty good for his odds. We'll see how Ben Rhodes will do. I think the only problem for Ben Rhodes is just the lack of consistency and the fact that, like, only got 2 wins to start off 2021 and then just wins the championship out of nowhere. I guess he was decently consistent to be able to hang in there, but he hasn't really been that consistent this year. Next up, John Hunter Nemechek in the number 4. 1 win so far this season, got it at Darlington. 7 top 5s, 11 top 10s. Also been a pretty consistent year for them. I feel like out of John Hunter Nemechek, the one thing that could probably stop him or slow him down is just him getting into wrecks. Like, I remember he has a DNF this year. I'm pretty sure it was at Gateway, I believe. I don't know, but there have been times where John Hunter Nemechek has gotten screwed out of a win. Like, he's gotten like moved out of the way. He had an issue with the truck, but he was still able to continue. But just took him out of contention for the race win. I mean, he just finished third at Pocono. He also got ninth at Nashville, second at Knoxville, and also 8th at Sonoma. So he's had some good runs here as of late. So I think just the consistency needs to build up a little bit. But yeah, 5 wins last year, somehow didn't win the championship. Well, he did get wrecked and almost didn't even make the championship at Martinsville last year, and also had an issue early in the race, so at Phoenix in the championship race. So we'll see how Nemechek will do. I think he'll have a strong, decent run just in the first round, because Richmond, he won there last year, so that's really good. IRP, like I said, we don't know how he'll do. And then Kansas, he had a pretty decent race at Kansas. He finished, I believe, 6th, so that's not bad. But he did start on pole in that race, so we'll see. We'll just see. We'll see how Nemechek will do. Next up, we have Stuart Friesen. Stuart Friesen was so close towards the end of last year and the beginning of this year to finally get that win at Texas. His first win since 2019 at Phoenix. Must feel good for them to finally just break through and get a win, because he was really close at Texas in 2020, the second race, but he got wrecked by Johnny Sauter. But it's been really good season so far for Stuart Friesen in the Halmar team. 6 top 5s, 9 top 10s, a really decently consistent season for them. I think that Stuart Friesen, probably out of all of the other playoff drivers, I feel like he's been the quiet one, the one who hasn't really said much. But like, he'll have good runs here and there, but also have not so good runs here and there. Like 14th at Pocono after he started 4th. It's kind of expected a bit better, but maybe he doesn't have a good history at Pocono. But he did get 5th at Knoxville, got 5th at Nashville, and also got 4th at Mid-Ohio. So I think he can do good at these diverse type of tracks. I'm not sure how he did at Richmond last year. I don't think in my prediction, I don't think he even did that well, but I don't know. I didn't even check before the video. I probably should have, but he does have a DNF this year. But back to the tracks, IRP, we don't know how he'll do, but Kansas, he did run there early this year, and he finished 14th after he started 5th in the race. So I'm not sure if there was an issue with the trucks. So we'll see how Stuart Friesen will do. But I think what Stuart Friesen's goal should be is just to be better than the other ones that are sort of worse than him in the playoffs right now. Next up, we have Christian Eckers, who literally had to share this ride last year with Grant Enfinger, even though Grant Enfinger won 4 races in 2020 and somehow had to share it the following year with Christian Eckers. It should have been Johnny Sauter, who really sucked in 2020. Like, what the frick? Okay, we're not going to get into that, but Christian Eckers got that win last year, splitting the ride with Grant Enfinger at Las Vegas last year, so really cool for him. So I kind of expected him to at least get a decent win so far this season, but he's been close at times, just couldn't seal the deal. There have just been issues in his way. Like Texas, he was really close, and there was another race, I believe, like oh yeah, Gateway, he was also close there. So he hasn't broke through to get the win yet, like a other driver in the playoffs, Carson Hocevar, but he's still been really consistent the last few races. Like the last 3 races specifically, he's been on a tear. He got 6th at Nashville, 5th at Mid-Ohio, and 8th at Pocono. So I think Eckers should be solid enough to make it into the next round. He didn't run the Richmond race last year. It was Grant Enfinger who ran that one. IRP, like I said, no one else has ran that one. And then Kansas earlier this year, I think he had a solid result. Yeah, 5th place finish. So I think Christian Eckers will most likely make it because he's been pretty consistent and he's been looking really good these last few races. A reason why he probably wouldn't make it, I don't know, some other drivers just outperform him, especially drivers below the cut line. But I think Christian Eckers has nothing to sweat so far. Now, the round of 8, maybe. Next up, we have Ty Majeski, who's literally the underdog, the underrated driver that drivers have to watch out for. Literally, this guy has been quietly getting solid results. I know I talked about Stuart Friesen being the quiet one, but we have another one too. Ty Majeski, he literally shows up here and there. 7 top 5s, 10 top 10s. It has been a really good season for them. He's been close at getting a win here or there. And he does also have 2 poles. Like literally, he got one at Daytona, and he also got one at at Charlotte, but unfortunately finished outside the top 10. But he's had really good results, so watch out for him, because he literally finished second at Kansas to Zane Smith, so he could possibly get a good result there. And also don't forget Nashville. He also had a good finish there, finished fourth, even though he had that bit of a run-in with Matt DiBenedetto in turn 3. But I think Ty Majeski should be strong enough to at least put up a fight and possibly go for a win. It could happen at IRP. Richmond, I don't even know if he ran that race last year or even in 2020, but Kansas, like I said, he finished second to Zane Smith. Maybe he can break through and beat Zane Smith straight up and get the win. It's a possibility. So we'll see what will happen with Ty Majeski. Second place finishes, you can't beat that. Hopefully he can just break through and get a win. I'm rooting for the underdogs. I like rooting for the young guys who are kind of underrated. He also has an average finish of 10.5, so you can't beat that for Ty Majeski, who's been under the radar in the Truck Series playoffs. So we'll see how he'll do in this first round. I think he'll possibly make it in. Just like I said, with Stuart Friesen, has to do better than the drivers that are technically worse than them. Next up, we have Carson Hocevar, the driver who's just been super close of trying to get his first win in his Truck Series career. It just has not happened yet. He's been close at Dirt Bristol, but Ben Rhodes came into that. He was close at Darlington. Nemechek came into that. He was close at Charlotte, and he messed up and pissed off Ryan Preece. But he's been still pretty consistent. 6 top 5s, 9 top 10s, even through injury. Carson Hocevar has been breaking through that. Heck, he's off the crutches this weekend at IRP, so that's a really cool thing to hear. But I think him and Christian Eckers are about the same level of consistent drivers going into the playoffs. That I think that they should be looking really well, other than current dominant drivers as like a Zane Smith or Chandler Smith, like 3rd at Nashville, 3rd at Mid-Ohio, and 5th at Pocono this past weekend. So look out for Carson Hocevar. I think he can break through and get something done and make some noise and make something happen. And yeah, like I said, IRP, we don't know. I don't even know how he's good at short tracks. I'm not sure how he even did at Richmond. But then Kansas, that's another track. That's an interesting one because he finished 15th there after he started 16th. So that's a bit of a worry, but maybe the truck was bad. I'm not sure. Nice Motorsports has been on the downfalls since their best season yet in 2019. 2020 to now, it has been downfall, but you have Carson Hocevar literally carrying this team on his back. They have, what, 4 other trucks? Yeah, don't they have like 3 or 4 other trucks on the team, and Hocevar is outperforming them? Like, what the hell? But I don't know. We'll see how Hocevar will do, but I think he should easily make it into the next round. And now on to the first driver below the cut line, first driver out of the Truck Series playoffs. It is Grant Enfinger. Enfinger, for him being in GMS equipment, I really expected a bit better, because GMS has been really bad for them, most likely ever since the championship race in 2020. Sheldon Creed got it, but burned some bridges with Brett Moffitt at the end of that one. Then Sheldon Creed went on to Xfinity. Zane Smith left the team to FRM. They had Chase Purdy and Tyler Ingram, who are mediocre drivers, that went on to Hattori and ruining that team. And then, yeah, like I said, Sheldon Creed's Xfinity and stuff, and all they have is Jack Wood. And they had Rafael Lessard, but he had to leave, and Jack Wood filled in for the rest of that season, and he's filling in for this season as well. Well, he's full-time. And then now they also have Grant Enfinger. So GMS has not really been the best so far, and I don't know if it's them or Grant Enfinger, because I kind of expected Enfinger to do a little bit better, because I'm not sure. I don't even know at this point which equipment is better. It's clearly not GMS. I really thought it was, but no, it's ThorSport, hands down, compared to these two. But anyway, he's had 3 top 5s this season, 7 top 10s. I guess it's pretty good for Enfinger standards. I'm not really sure. He's had 2 DNFs this season, average finish of 13.5. That's like one of the worst, or I believe second to worst, of average finishes this season. The last few finishes have not been good. He got 17th at Pocono, 32nd at Nashville, but that was because he kind of got wrecked. So I don't know. His last top 10 was at Knoxville, but his last top 5 was back at Charlotte. So I think he can do really well at the 1.5 miles, because I remember he finished 3rd at Kansas earlier this year when Zane Smith won. So don't close your eyes yet on Grant Enfinger. I think he'll do well. And also think about Richmond. We ran there twice the last couple years, he's finished 1st and 8th. He won in 2020, finished 8th last year. We'll see how he'll do. IRP, I don't know about that, but I think Enfinger will have a slight advantage over the 2 drivers that I'm probably going to pick, is because, well, he has better finishes at those tracks, but then again, Enfinger hasn't really been all that consistent, so it's really hard to say. And finally, we have my boy Matt Crafton. Only 1 top 5, 8 top 10s this season, followed by 2 DNFs and the worst average finish of the Truck Series playoff drivers, and that is 14th. That is not good. He's that is just I know he's only like 4 points below the cut line because we haven't even started the playoffs yet, technically, but still, Matt Crafton, I think it's just I think his winning days are behind him. I mean, Kansas, I was still shocked he got that win, and that was literally a couple days before my birthday that year, so happy for him to get that win back then, but I'm not sure how he'll do this time. I mean, literally, he's the only driver in the Truck Series playoffs who's ran at IRP, the last one back in 2011, and he finished 6th. So that's the race that I'm really looking forward to see how he'll do. So I can't really count him out there yet. So we'll see how he'll do there. He finished, where did he finish? He finished 18th at Richmond last year, which is not good. And he finished 9th at Kansas early this year. So mile and a halves have been pretty good for Matt Crafton for top 10s, but I'm not sure about top 5s where you'll have most of your other playoff Truck Series competitors at. So I'm not really sure what to say about Matt Crafton. I mean, got 15th at Pocono this past weekend, 18th at Mid-Ohio. It's been a bit of a struggle for them. It's just the age is getting to him. I mean, literally, the last time Matt Crafton raced at IRP, he was 35. He's 46 now. It's been over 10 years, so I don't even know if he'll even perform well at IRP. So it's really hard to say, but Matt Crafton doesn't really look that bright for him in the playoffs. But without that out of the question, let's go ahead and talk about who are the drivers that I believe will be eliminated from the Truck Series playoffs. Remember, it's the round of 10, so only 2 shall be eliminated. And those 2 drivers are Matt Crafton. I mean, I was just dissing on him earlier. It wasn't really a diss. I was just talking about his struggles and nothing really that much positive. Maybe the only positive thing is that he's pretty decent at getting top 10s at mile and a half, but I don't know, that's about it. But my reasoning for the 88 truck being out in the first round is because, well, think about last year. I'm pretty sure he was like one of the first drivers out of the playoffs last season, but that's besides the point. It's just Matt Crafton, like I said, he got 9th at Kansas, 18th at Richmond, 6th at IRP. Also, a bit of a fun fact, the last time the Truck Series raced at IRP, that was Ross Chastain's first Truck Series race. So a bit of a fun fact there, that back in 2011. But anyway, just Matt Crafton has been really inconsistent this season. Like I said, his only top 5 finish was at Darlington. He was just struggling just to reach the top 10 at Pocono. Like, literally, if he would have DNF'd in that race, Derek Kraus would be in the playoffs. Like, he was not good. He was just struggling. So I could tell that the struggle is there. He has the worst average finishes. Yeah, he has the worst average finish of all the playoff drivers, and just, yeah, it just has not been it for Matt Crafton. It's just the age is getting to him. It's just, maybe it's time to hang it up pretty soon, but I don't know. You can't beat that iconic bright neon Menards Toyota Tundra out on the track, but I don't know. I think it's about time for Matt Crafton. But at least he's still consistent enough to get into the playoffs. It's just that he can't really do that much into the playoffs if he makes it. So I think Matt Crafton will be my first driver out. Now my second driver out will be his teammate Ben Rhodes. So I predict 2 Thor Sport trucks will be out, leaving 2 left in the round of 8. For Ben Rhodes, can't say, like I said earlier, can't say about IRP. He finished 7th at Richmond last year and 10th at Kansas, which is pretty good. But just like Matt Crafton, I said this earlier, he's been also really inconsistent this season. Like, Rhodes has especially struggled, like, these last, like, 2 to 3 races. Because if I can roll them off the tip of my tongue, yeah, like 23rd at Mid-Ohio, 19th at Pocono this past weekend. That's not good. I mean, 12.9 average finish, basically 13th. That's still one of the top 3 worst average finishes of the playoff drivers right now, but it is still better than Grant Enfinger, who's another driver that I was thinking about. Maybe Grant Enfinger might not make it, but here's the thing. we're going to tracks where Grant Enfinger has done better. Like Kansas, he finished higher than Ben Rhodes, and Richmond, he finished higher there as well, and also won there back in 2020, but I know that was like for Thor Sport. So it's really hard to say for Ben Rhodes. It's just that ever since those 2 wins at Daytona, I just feel like he has not been the same. Literally, ever since those 2 wins, he's only had one single win, and that was like, I don't know what to say about Ben Rhodes anymore. I mean, I know he's literally third in the standings. He is like 15 points above the cut line, but anything can happen. 200 laps at IRP, a lot of things can happen. Richmond, a lot of things can happen. Kansas, a lot of things can happen. We've seen crazy stuff happen at Truck Series races at mile and a half, especially Las Vegas. I wouldn't be shocked if a lot of things happen at Kansas, but it depends. We'll see how it will all play out. But I believe Ben Rhodes and Matt Crafton, the 2 teammates at Thor Sport, will be out. And it's sad to say, because those are the 2 drivers who have been at Thor Sport longer than their other 2 teammates that I think will do better, Eckers and Majeski. But that will do it for my Truck Series playoff predictions. So guys, thank you guys so much for watching. Please like, comment, share, subscribe. Let me know down in the comment section below, who are the 2 drivers you guys think will be eliminated from the Truck Series playoffs, and who do you guys think will go on and win it all? Literally, I can't really say, because even though Zane Smith has 3 wins this season and he's been really consistent, he hasn't really been winning all that much like a John Hunter Nemechek. Nemechek won 5 times last year. Zane Smith has only won 3 times, but it's still pretty early. We shall see how things will play out. Same thing like a Chandler Smith and Christian Eckers and Carson Ozavar. Things should play out pretty well for those drivers that I selected, but time will tell. We'll see. If you guys want to subscribe to this channel, please subscribe. We're literally at 191 down here, 9 away from 200. It would really be awesome if you guys could do that. We are so close. The viewership, we can bring that up a little bit in the sub count, but I do really appreciate you guys for tuning in and just watching the videos and subscribing. It means a lot. If you want to check out my gaming channel, link will be in the description below. Should be uploading a video over on that channel tomorrow, so make sure you guys are subscribed so you do not miss that. Instagram, you can just click the link over here, or click the link in the description when you're done with this video. Drop me a follow, follow you guys back. But yeah, that's gonna do it for today, so I shall see you guys this weekend for the Indy Road Course review on Sunday. Should be a fun one, and we'll be back with another episode of Truck Series predictions in September. Literally a month. How did the first round last like over a month, and same thing with the second round? What? It's the Truck Series. It's the Truck Series. Okay, but anyway, that's gonna do it for today. See you guys in the next one. Have a great rest of your day. This is NASCAR Mobile 48. Peace out.